Hey everyone, this is Leena, and I hope you're doing well. Thank you for your support so far. Today I'm going to talk about a very personal experience to me, like something which happened to me a couple of years ago, and something that literally kickstarted my spiritual journey at a deeper level. So it roughly like if I talk about the very first time I was inspired to start my own spiritual journey to start digging for something deeper. So it basically started in like 2019, the last quarter of 2019, you can say. But that time around I was not very serious about this because um, of course COVID started after a bit, and then I started working from home. I was working a job at that time. I was working in corporate, and then of course I was working from home, and I would just not very serious about things, right? My tarot thing started in 2020. I gained interest, and then I just started with ordering a deck of cards and all of that jazz. Okay, this went on till like 2021. In 2022, my journey seriously began. Okay, because for the 2 years, 2020 and 2021, we were already occupied with a lot of things going on in the world, of course. So I was not very serious about this part of the, this side of the story or this part of my life. I remember in 2022 specifically, I was not very happy with where I was in life. Even though my job was fine, I was working in a good place. Okay, if, it was a night job, a little difficult with the schedule part. Yes, it was a night job, but they were paying me good money. Okay, and I had to work from home. No pressure of going to the office. I could literally work from anywhere. It was a very comfortable job, honestly. But something started happening in the workplace, and also for some reason, I started having I started having like very weird experiences. Like suddenly I would, like, I'm sitting here and suddenly it feels I'm like having a very weird kind of a deja vu moment or something like that. Or I would start seeing things in my reality. It became very weird. Okay, and no, it was not my initially I thought it was my subconscious playing tricks on me. But no, I came to this realization after a while it was not. So basically, I realized something, that my soul, or like something inside of me, is looking for something more. Okay, I remember one night when I was done with my shift. It was around 5:30 a.m. or something in the morning, because I used to sleep at like 6 something in the morning, 5:36, that kind of a time, because that's when my shift used to get over. I would log out of my system, and yeah, we'll start preparing for the sleep. That day I was like, I don't even remember when I shut my system down. I was feeling very not nice, I'll be honest, because it was like it was a couple of days that I was not just feeling right. Like it's like my body was not at ease, like something is not sitting right with me. Even though I was sleeping, I was eating food. It's not that I was sick, it's not that I was doing all those things, but something was just not sitting right with me. Okay. And I remember at that time, I just started going into occult subjects, digging into occult and stuff like that. So, first I thought that could be the reason. Maybe I'm just feeling uncomfortable because I'm reading certain books or whatever. It was not those books, and it was not what I was doing. It was like, so what happened? I slept, okay, and I don't even remember when I passed out in a way. But after a bit, it's like my consciousness wakes up, and I can literally see my body lying there. For a moment, I was like, what's happening? Am I dead or something? It was literally like I'm gone and I can see my body. I think it was it was literally like a death experience. Um, for a moment there, I didn't understand what's happening. Okay, and it took me it this was only a couple of seconds. Obviously, this was not a very big thing that happened. Like, it was only a couple of seconds. And right when I lifted, like, I started seeing around myself, like, what am I able to see? I started seeing a shadow figure. It was a shadowy figure that I saw roughly. That's when I kind of got triggered, a little scared and as well. And I could see my body lying there. And I was like, how do I wake this body up? It was that kind of an experience. Like, I can see there's my body. And it's like I'm trying to reach to my body, but I'm not able to. Okay. And my body felt dead. Like, I could see it was literally, like, I couldn't. It's like when you are, if you, even if you're dreaming, you have some sort of idea that your body is moving or something. But that was not like that. It was like I'm dead, I'm gone, and this body is useless. It was that kind of feeling. I can see it. I can literally see my body lying there, and I'm like, and then I see something right in front of me. It was a shadowy figure. I got a little scared because, of course, this is not something that I usually come across every day, of course. I was trying to, as if, talk to my body, but I was not able to. Like, my sense of talking, my sense of moving, my senses are gone. I can just see, but I can experience, but my senses are gone. It was that kind of a feeling. And then it was only a couple of seconds. I could literally say it was merely 6, 7 seconds, 8 seconds, or 10 maybe. It was not a very long experience. It was hardly a couple of seconds. After a while, I suddenly gain consciousness. Like, I come back from this, um, my body wakes up. And the moment I wake up, I see it's because when I slept, I remember it was still dark. The sunrise didn't happen. The moment I woke up, it was like the sun is out, almost out. Like, when the first rays of the sun hit, it's just starting. And I was like, I sat there for a moment and I was like, what happened? Something definitely happened. It took me so long to understand what happened. This was a literally an experience of death to me, because I feel this is what happens when you die. It was an experience. It was that experience. And I'm pretty sure that was not my subconscious playing tricks on me, because I have had many experiences. That was something which made me realize, before I was not able to put a name on it. It's not like I was able to put a name on it or something, or I was able to recognize what that was. Because firstly, I was thinking maybe, what I thought initially? I thought maybe something was trying to possess me, or something was like, I was getting those kind of feelings. Maybe it was just a bad dream. I even tried to consult. I remember at that time I consulted a psychic. I consulted a black magician who used to do a lot of spirit work and all. He told me maybe you were just visited by your ancestor or something, or like that. But I was not satisfied with his answer. For me, I'm not just gonna blindly. I don't know. That's my nature. I'm not gonna blindly believe what you say. Okay, I'll take my time with it. I'll check the facts and figures. Maybe I'll go back. I'll think again. Right away, the answers don't satisfy me. So that's when I started taking my spiritual path very seriously, because that was literally like the flavor of something that is not reachable to us. It gave me an idea that there's definitely something beyond what we see, of course. But even if beyond what we see, there's something that we can have a power or control over. And that's when my serious or that journey of seriousness with my spiritual path started. Obviously, I started with like occult because I thought that could give me the answer, because occult is more about spirit work and this and that. I started with that, okay, and I started with rituals. I'm not gonna lie, because initially that's what you're told to. If you're a beginner, you don't know where to start, you're gonna maybe listen to someone on the internet and you'll be like, okay, maybe this is the way. I started with that. Then I started with deities, also obviously working with deities, different deities, not only Indian, but many other from different pantheons. Studying about them, reading about them, even working with them, having their altar and stuff like that. But you know what? After a point, I was always hitting a dead wall. I was not satisfied. Like, I have seen people, they're satisfied. They will start with working with a deity, they'll put up an altar, they'll start making offerings, and they're done. They're done for the lifetime, done and dusted. I was not happy. I was not. I'm sorry, but for a while, it will give me something or answers or whatever, but I was not happy with the answer I will get. It felt as if I'm again and again hitting a dead wall, like a wall. What did I say, dead wall? It was like I'm again and again hitting a wall. It's not giving me my answer. I need my answer. Where is my answer? Because at the end of the day, I was still depressed. I was still sad. I still felt, no, there's something more. Because, there is something inside of you that tells you that, no, there's something more. I know there's something more. My voice wouldn't go. That voice wouldn't go from inside of me. Then I started more deeply with my spiritual practices, because before that I was a little bit inconsistent. Like, I will get in, get off, get in, get off, because I was not getting satisfied with what I was doing or what kind of answer I was getting at the end of it. Then, of course, I left my job and I was like, I'm going to go full in. Even if I die, I have no money to eat food. I'm going to do it, because I can't stay like this. My head is going to blast out. I need my answer. I left my job and I was like, let's start with this. So, of course, I started with tarot. Was going on side by side, because tarot was useful to me a couple of times. Like, on my journey, of course, that was useful a couple of times when I'd be searching for answer and all of that. But I needed something deeper. So I kept peeling those layers. I started working with deities. I would read about them. I would understand what it, like, what exactly are they saying, or what exactly is their existence telling me. So I started working with more deeply with Bhairav. Kali came in, of course. It took me a while to understand them, because their personality is a bit complicated. Their interpret. You can of course go and watch my video, the last video that I made. I've talked about this. It took me a while to understand. So, of course, it was a whole journey. It took me a couple of years to find my answer. That one thing that happened to me that morning, where I saw myself dead on the bed. What happened, and how is that even possible? How did I again came back to life? So that stayed with me. And that answer, it took me years to find out. People become so impatient. Um, it's true. Spiritual journey, walking a spiritual path, is for the people who have to have a lot of patience. First thing it will teach you is to have patience. So in my journey, I have studied a couple of books, couple of literatures, mythological books, stories, texts, Vedic texts, whatever word you want to use. I'm not saying I've read all of them, but quite a few of them. Okay, did my search, even listened to very famous gurus as well. Nothing satisfied me. I was like, no, there's something more. There has to be something more. It's not just what these books are saying, or maybe I'm reading them wrong, I'm interpreting them wrong. There has to be something. This is not what it seems like. And finally, when I realized, the realization that hit me is like, consciousness keeps taking different forms. It's simply one big consciousness, which is also referred to as Advait. Advait means non dual. The reason why they say non dual is because something that cannot be, it is said that we can't say it's one, because saying one means there's a possibility of something being two. There's a reason, that's why they say it's non dual, something that can never be non dual. It's one big, one again, not to be used, but in a layman's sense, it's a non dual, formless consciousness. And the nature of consciousness is to keep expanding and growing. That's the nature of the universe or the consciousness, to keep expanding. It will keep expanding, taking different forms, and that's its nature. So, whatever I'm seeing, basically, everything is consciousness. So, there is no barrier to begin with. The consciousness that's sitting here in my name, Leena, is the same consciousness. That's this particular box of mic or whatever. So it's basically one and the same thing, but one way it seems like this in my body form, and in another form it seems like this, but it's the same consciousness. And it's not about, see, people say we all have souls and there's no barriers. That's the thing. It's not separate. It's not separate. It's like when you go see an ocean, the waves that are coming from the ocean, they are just different shapes, sizes, but they are what? They are ocean, right? Similar. And that particular, the way it hit me, the way I came to that realization, it's like you take a dough. I'm going to also mention this, a very stupid example. Take dough. With that dough, make bread, make croissant, make some other thing. It's just the dough that took different forms. And that's when everything went like, and I realized one thing. All my feelings of guilt, all my feelings of anger towards anyone, it went away, because I'm like, why am I getting angry on myself? If you think about it, I might sound a little crazy here, but think about this. If there's a different person standing in front of me, because at the end of the day, we meet people that mirror us, right? This is a deeper aspect to it, the mirror principle. If I'm seeing a person and this person is irritating me, I'm getting angry on me at the end of the day. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. So the barrier went off. It's not about we are separate, we have to come together and live. There's no barrier to begin with. And that was the realization that took me a while to understand. We get confused, we have identity crisis because we think we are different. The moment you realize we're not different, there's no difference to begin with. The same consciousness is this, sitting as me on the chair, is the same consciousness as this. So for me, I don't have to go to temple separately to worship a different form of consciousness that's actually me at the end of the day, in the form of a god. I don't have to go somewhere to worship that. So it cancels out in a way. So whether going to the temple or not, whether I'm standing inside the temple or not, I can still, it's one and the same thing. The same consciousness is sitting inside as the temple, in the temple, and the same consciousness is outside the temple. It's everywhere. There's nothing I can't see that consciousness in anymore. For me, everything is consciousness now. It just takes different form. That's it. This is consciousness. This is consciousness. So now, just because there is no absence of consciousness now, who am I searching for then? You get my point, what I'm saying. Since there is no absence of consciousness, there's nothing on this planet that's not consciousness. Everything in this universe, there's nothing that's not this consciousness. So what are you searching for? There's nothing. So that's where we begin. There's no difference to begin with. This is consciousness. This is me at the end of the day. I might be sounding very crazy right now to some people, but this is the truth. Okay? So I don't have to go out there looking for a God. There's no God. That's summing up. Because what you're looking for, you yourself are that person. I mean, you yourself are that conscious, that something that you're looking for outside. It's a very simple sentence, but takes time to realize. People say it all the time. It's all over the fucking internet. What you look for outside is inside. But do you get the essence, what they're saying? This is the essence. So instead of going outside, looking for a God, whosoever in the name, it's a consciousness that just took that form. And I'm the same consciousness. So why am I looking for myself? It's just a different form. Why am I going out there to look for that? It just took a different form. That's it. It took the form of another plant. It took the form of any other. So does it make sense you go and worship it outside? It didn't make sense to me. So you can have respect for certain beings. I'm not denying that. Yes, you respect certain beings that existed at one point in time. They have their own kind of caliber, and it's like they reached that level of pure consciousness, a very powerful stage. You can definitely learn something from them. You can channel that energy in a way because you're connected. There's no what do you say? There's no difference. There's no break. You're connected. It's like telepathy. You're already connected. Got my point? So maybe ponder on this thought and let me know if this made sense to you. I'll see you again with another video and another topic. Please take good care of yourselves, and bye-bye.